yelled at the chickens, and the dog barked at the cat.
That was a great pause. Keep going.
And still the rain came down.
Right. So I'm gonna let you finish doing this. Finish this reading, and then I'm gonna go to Dominic. Okay. Hey, Dominic. I see you trying to work on the cause already. All right. Don't want you to hold off on that. Tell me what you have for your effect already. What happened?
It woke the baby.
What broke the baby?
The dog barking.
So can you do me a favor and write that down? The dog barking woke the baby. Because right now you just said it, and I don't know what you're talking about. No, don't erase the whole thing. Just erase this one.
Then just write dog.
Dog woke baby. We doing a little shorthand, right? All right. So I don't want you to focus on this part just yet. All right. So I am going to ask you to erase that because I really want you to follow these instructions. I want us to hit everything so that we're spot on with it. I don't want us to be confused about that. All right. Quickly, because I want to hear you read. All right. Here we go. So what page are you on right now? This one? Let's go back and read this one. Hold on. Now remember, once upon a time we were working on fluency. Do you remember that? Do you remember what you do when you get to quotation marks and when you get to commas?
Stop and then you keep going.
Well, with commas, you
pause
pause.
and you keep going.
Thank you. What about quotation marks?
No time.
That's when we change our voice because someone is what?
Talking.
That makes me excited. I like to hear you guys read quotation marks. All right, brace yourself, get yourself together. Go, keep reading if we're waiting for me.
The man yelled at the dog and woke up the baby. Stop all that yelling, shouted the man's wife.
Keep going. You looked at me and you smiled. Why? Did you want to see if I was going to give you some feedback on it? I think you did a fine job on it. I want you to make sure, though, that you actually change your voice there. Not only is it good to help you understand the text, but it just also makes it fun to hear you read, and it makes you understand the text better when you actually do what the punctuation marks are telling you to do. Okay? Ready? Keep going.
The dog barked louder, and still the rain came down. The policeman heard the noise and stopped to see what was wrong. His car was blocking traffic and half a block away. A woman squirmed in the back of a taxi.
Okay, stop right there. All right, looks like Dominic is writing something down. I want you to finish it up, Dominic, and then when your pencil's down, I know you are ready. Now, I'm sorry. I meant Yancy. All right, so here we go. You guys are supposed to look for something that happened, hence the word affect, right? We're looking for something that happened in the text. And then we're going to go back and do the work together to find out why that thing happened, all right? So, Dominic, it looks like you already have one written down. I love the way you have those bullets there to help you organize, sir. As soon as you finish with that one, I want you to put your pencil down, okay?
You keep calling him dumb.
I know, I'm so sorry. I have to do better. I'm sorry. All right. All right, buddy. All right, so, Dominic, what do you have? What's the effect that you read about?
The dog woke up the baby.
A dog woke up the baby, right? So I'm going to write that here. Dog woke. Good. Is that one of the things that you had written down too? Okay. Dog woke baby, right? I want you guys to go back into the text and tell me why the dog woke the baby.
The dog woke the baby because the woman said, stop all that. The man yelled at the dog, and then
Now hold on, because you're starting to give me a lot of extra information, right? I only want to know why the dog woke the baby.
Because the man yelled at the dog.
So the man said what to the dog? So what caused the baby? What caused this baby to wake up? Because the dog didn't go over and say, "Wake up, baby."
The man started yelling.
You have something?
The dog was barking and it made the baby wake up.
So when we look at the effect, which is the dog woke the baby, well, why did the dog wake the baby? Because he was
Barking.
good. Now, I'm not writing complete sentences here, so I'm going to put my bullet points there so I make sure that I'm organizing my information, but also so that I make sure that you guys know that I'm not writing a complete sentence because I don't have a period there, okay? All right. So, one thing that I heard you do, Dominic, when you were giving me your cause, is you use a transition word. You use the word because. I'm going to write it right here down the middle. And so what I'm going to do is, when I look at this, I'm going to check myself by asking myself, what happened? And when I figure out what happens, or when I read what happens, I'm going to ask myself, what was the cause of this, right? That means, why did that happen? And then when I get finished writing this down, just to make sure that I'm correct, I'm going to check it. And I'm going to check it by reading my effect and then putting the word because in the middle of it and see if it makes sense. All right? So let me see what you have already. You said dog woke baby because he was barking. Does that make sense? So in your mind, you should see in your head, a dog is barking, a baby wakes up. Does that make sense for a baby to wake up because a dog is barking? How do you know it makes sense?
Because he was barking really loud.
Well, think about, this is where we start to make some connections too, right? To our own life. Why does that make sense?
That makes sense because when my brother was a baby, my mom had took him over to my grandma's house, and then my grandma's dog just started barking, and then he woke up.
True. And I have another connection that I make too. My neighbor next door to me has a dog, a really big dog. And so just this past weekend, this Saturday, I was laying in the bed, knocked out. And all of a sudden, what do I hear?
The dog barking.
Dogs barking wakes me up. Now, that's not exactly what happened in this text, but what I'm going to do as a reader is I'm making connections to my very own life, and it helps me to understand this story. So when I'm reading this and I recognize, and I'm asking myself, does it make sense that a dog would bark and a baby would wake up? Well, yeah, it does, because I've seen that happen before. It's happened in my own life, or maybe it's happened on TV, or maybe it happened to your brother, right? All right. Looks like you have something different now for your cause. Now, for your effect. As he's reading his effect, I want you to be thinking and asking yourself, does that make sense? Got it? You ready? All right, here we go.
The man's wife started yelling at her husband.
So the man's wife yelled say that again?
Husband.
Okay, at her husband. The man's wife yelled at her husband. Can I just say the woman yelled at her husband? Is that what happened? I like the way you go back to that text to make sure. I like it. You can be working back to C2. Is that what happened? Did the woman yell at her husband?
Mm-hmm.
Show him in the text.
The woman shouted at her husband.
Can we use yelled as well though? Does that mean the same thing? Okay. So I'm gonna use shorthand. She yelled at her husband. Now what am I gonna ask myself to figure this out? To figure out the cause, I'm asking myself what?
Why it happened.
Why it happened, right? So she yelled at her husband. Why did she yell at her husband?
Because he was yelling at the dog.
You agree or disagree? Why do you agree?
I agree because when the dog was barking, he woke the baby up, and the man wanted the dog to be quiet, so the dog won't wake the baby up.
And Mama did what?
Started yelling at her husband.
She did. And you know what I'm thinking about? I made a connection here. Anybody making other connections? What's your connection you're making?
My dad was trying to tell my sister to turn her TV down, but she didn't, and then he started yelling. Then she just told him to stop yelling.
Your mama did. That's similar to my story. Yes.
When my baby cousin was in my bed asleep, my stepdaddy he brought my dog in the house, and the dog started barking loud because the TV was on.
It just reminded me because my mama just yells. I mean, she
does that every day.
She does. My mama just yells, and so sometimes she's yelling, telling other people to stop yelling. And I'm like, Mom, you're yelling. So I made a connection there because it does remind me of that. So you're saying to me that she yelled at her husband because
the man started yelling at the dog for barking and making the baby wake up.
Because the husband yelled
At the dog.
At the dog. And what?
The baby.